Greetings to all the students. Welcome to the YouTube platform of nextias, and you are watching Daily News Decoded, an initiative of the nextias where we discuss important articles published in the papers The Hindu and the Indian Express. With the help of this video, we are going to discuss MGNREGA, a case, gig workers, sugar production case, a crisis of Democratic Republic of Congo, and World Wetlands Day. So without wasting time, let's start with the first topic, which is visible over your screen, which the article says that average work days per household under MGNREGA is down. If I start with article with one of the very startling fact, for say there has been a data given by the government itself that the average work days per household under the MGNREGA has only 44 to 45 days. It itself says that there is something missing in the MGNREGA, which says that at least 100% of the employment is being given to the each and every household. So now let's discuss what things are there. These are, those mains questions that has been asked by the UPSC in previous question papers. One prelims based question papers visible over your screen. Now start. The MGNREGA, earlier it was NREGA. 2009 onwards it was said Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, but at the starting in 2005, it was just National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. It's a demand-driven scheme. Demand-driven scheme means that an household who wants to seek the job first need to get a job code from the state government, or I would say the Gram Sabha specifically. Then afterwards, the proper verification being done and the job card will be given to the particular person. And then based on the job card that has been given by the Gram Sabha to the particular state person, that particular person can seek a job. That is why the word is demand driven. This point is to be understood. This is demand driven. It was passed by the parliament in 2005 and came into the effect on 2nd of February 2006 as a social and legal measure that guarantees the right to work. One thing to be understood that this NREGA says that this is the legal right. This is the legal right of a job card holder to get a job. This act has its roots in Maharashtra Employment Guarantee Scheme 1972, which was the first to recognize the right to work for a particular person. Now discuss the salient features of the MGNREGA Act. The first is right to work. It has a connotation under the constitutional with Article 41, which says that it is the right of the state to secure all the citizens' right to work. First. Second, a time-bound employment guarantee. It provides 15 days time period. The 15 days time period foretells two things. The first, within the thing or within the apply for the job, you will get a job within 15 days. Second, once the job creation is done, then you will be given the wages within 50 days after the completion of the job. This is the 15 days time period, right? Third, wage employment. It guarantees minimum 100 days per household. That means in a year, the government is giving you a guaranteed legal work of 100 days. Decentralized planning. Gram Sabha are the main actors. As I just mentioned, the job card is being given by the Gram Sabhas. It is the Gram Sabha who are ensuring that the devolution of funds will rightly take place. And the work will be monitoring work or things will be done by the Gram Sabha. The social audit things will be conducted by the Gram Sabha still. So Gram Sabha is the one main factor that are making sure that the MGNREGA is being on the right path. Women empowerment. How? Our act itself says that at least 1/3 of the total members of the job will be given to the women specific. Transparency and accountability. The act says that every Gram Sabha will conduct at least social audit, right? Social audit on a monthly basis. This shows that there will be a transparency in the funds, in the work, effective nature of the work, things, etc. The other salient features is labor intensive work. The act says that at least 60% of the works are labor intensive. Labor intensive means where the labor is more. For say hotel industry, road construction industry kind of thing. and 40% are material intensive, where the labor force will be lesser and the material aspect will be higher. For example, infrastructure, right? Infrastructure development will be a material intensive work. Implementation. The state government is responsible for the proper implementation of the MGNREGA. Funding is of very important with respect to your prelims examination, the funding aspect. The central government provides 100% funding for wages for unskilled manual work, and it covers 75% of the material cost, and the other 25% of the material cost will be borne by the state government. Very important point is that the 100% unemployment bonus, the 100% unemployment bonus is to be borne by the state government, and it is to be decided by the state government only, that what the unemployment rate should be. That is why we have witnessed that the unemployment rate, the wage rate is being different between state to state. It varies state to state. Now the significance of the state. The first significance is employment generation. The first, we know that this is a legal right. It is a legal right. The second, one specific data. For say, since its inception 2006, at least 90 crore people, or I would say 90 crore households has applied for the job codes. 90 crores. And out of those 90 crores, 35% people has asked for a job. And out of those 35% people who has asked for the job, 99.17% has been given the job. That is why we say this employment generation is one of the very major significant impact of this act. Second, unemployment allowance. This act itself says that I will give you an unemployment allowance based on the fact that for say, if the work is not being given even after the 15 days, then the act itself says that the state government is bound to give the unemployment allowance. Third, sustainable democratic order. It means that one major important thing, for say we know the role of Gram Sabha in it, right? Right? So Gram Sabha has the right to accept the nature of the work is being done. They may accept it, they may reject it, and no higher authority can overturn the decisions given by the Gram Sabha until and unless it is not in conjunction with the provisions mentioned in the act. That is why the sustainable democratic order is being practiced under this act. Social audit. As I said, then on a monthly basis, the act says that on a monthly basis, there will be a social audit to be conducted by the Central Employment Guarantee Council. Central Employment Guarantee Council, and the annual report to be placed before the Parliament by the central government. Same, State Employment Guarantee Council will conduct a social audit and the annual report to be laid before the state legislature by the state government, just to make sure that a more transparency and the effectiveness of the MGNREGA with respect to the rural livelihood and the upliftment of the rural poverty will get to be known by the Parliament and the state legislature respectively, right? Next point is relief from the poverty. So with the relief of the poverty, there are certain facts that we may understand the how it helpful in relieving or taking the people out of the poverty. For say, we can take two kind of scenario. The first is post-COVID and the case of COVID. First, I'll talk about the case of COVID. During the COVID, for say we know that there are 139 million migrant workers are there in India. Migrant workers. That means the daily wage laborers. There was a survey conducted by the 𝐂𝐲𝐬𝐿 Premji University said that out of those 139 million migrant workers, 39% of the people during the COVID time did not get any single day of the work in MGNREGA. But the other people who got the job during the MGNREGA have raised their income level and come out of the poverty. based on because it helped in their consumption expenditure, it helped in their asset construction, and majorly they got out of the poverty because it somehow gets the incidence of poverty remained with the intact of food security. That is why it helped out in getting the people out of the poverty. So this is this relief from the poverty. Another aspect, one even survey said that out of, for say, 98% of the people who got the job said that the MGNREGA helped them in gaining advantage in saving effect. Certain other people say that MGNREGA has raised their income level from 5 to 10,000 per month on a monthly basis. This is very, very startling fact. And this was conveyed with the help of the survey, right? So these kind of things may say that yes, relief from the poverty is taking place with the help of the MGNREGA. Skill enhancement. The nature of the job in MGNREGA is for say ponds and for say canal, or I would say that this will be majorly on the basis of construction of roads, right? So ultimately the household person who will be engaged in the activities will get the skill associated, the live skill associated. So it will definitely help in the skill enhancement. First thing. Second thing, infrastructure development. Again, coming back to this skill enhancement, the work is related to the construction of the roads, the canals, the ponds, etc. So it will be definitely helpful in the infrastructure development in the rural areas. Third, women empowerment. Now this is very important. The act says that 1/3 of the persons will be women who will be given the job under the MGNREGA Act, right? Now, go on this point. The act says that nearby 39% of the women got their job, and out of 39% women, around 95% of the women completed the more than 80 days of the work. That is why it is leading to the women empowerment scenario. Moreover, during 2020-2021, the government of India initiated Mahila Hut kind of a program, which was helpful in boosting the women's incursion into the MGNREGA Act. So itself, the government itself is trying to make sure that the more women will be there, and once the more women will be there, the more transparency will be there. Because again, there has been certain surveys which says that whenever in Gram Sabha, not in Gram Sabha, but I say, but whenever there was a large incursion of the women in the MGNREGA Act, there was a larger transparency took place during the particular area. That is why even the government wants that the more and more women will be there. First thing. Second thing, once the women will come out of their house to work, they'll get to know more about what is going on in the future, what is going on in the in the area wise. So their skill, along with that, their understanding related to the other things will be ameliorated. And once this thing will be ameliorated, there has been certain case studies conducted by the government itself says that all those women who are getting jobs in MGNREGA, getting their children educated or getting their children enrolled in the schools. So ultimately, school enrollment ratio will be there. So women empowerment is leading to the other social factors as well to take place. Plus environmental conservation. We just said that this is more about environmental conservation, about ponds, about soil conservation, points. So we may say that the work associated with the MGNREGA is actually saving the natural resources. So it can definitely give a significance that the ecological balance will be done tacitly or directly by the help of the MGNREGA Act. That is why this environmental conservation is being the very significant aspect of the MGNREGA. Social inclusion, very important thing. As you know that this act says that there will be equal inclusion of the marginalized section of the society in the MGNREGA, so that the equitable nature of the society can take place. Under this act, there has been a data that around 42% of the SC and STs has got job under the MGNREGA, 42%, and that was to increase from 42% in 2019-20. And if I compare this data with the 2006-2007, it was merely 19%. So a jump from 19% to 42% has been taken place. That is why we may say that the social inclusion is one of the major significance of the MGNREGA. Third, sustainable development goals. We know that sustainable development goals has 17 goals. The first say zero poverty, zero hunger, clean water, other things associated, equal access to to the health. These things are there, which are definitely part of the sustainable development goals, and MGNREGA is helping to attaining these kind of roles. That is why the sustainable development goals is another significant impact of the MGNREGA. But now there is a flip to it. There are certain challenges associated. The first is uniform wage rate. You may say that across the India, the rates of the, I would say the wage rate of the households given by the Gram Sabha is different versus state to state. For say Haryana is being given very high state compared to the Bihar, right? And this wage rate even differ from 180 to 320 per day, 180 per day to 320 per day. This is even struggling when we compare those specific the northeastern states. How? For say in northeastern, the Mizoram is giving around 270 per day, but the state like Nagaland is giving just for 230 per day. So there is a startling difference with the uniform this wage rate. This is a greater challenge. Second, increase in wage commensurated with the inflation. Now try to understand. The household who will be coming to get a job under the MGNREGA are the very marginalized section of the people. And understand their scenario that they will not be given a wage rate specific dealing with the inflation or commensurate with the inflation. In that particular scenario, they will only have one single choice, to move back to the, the urban areas or look for those areas who will give them more money. That is why we are witnessing that there is one more trend that the people are not even effectively working 100 days. They are, the average rate has been gone down to 44, 45 based on this thing. That is why there was the Naga Singh committee came in 2020 and it said that the indexation with inflation must be linked with the CPI rural rather than the CPI agriculture labor. This is of great important thing. Third, delayed payment of wages. There has been but many cases that the delayed payment of wages are taking place because of two factors. The first reason is, first of all, there was inactive Aadhaar card, right? Because of which the payment is not being given, or the frozen account or the closed account. These are those the reasons because of which there has been a case of delayed payment, right? Fourth, delay in compensation. The Act itself says that a person is entitled for the compensation. At the rate of 0.05% of unpaid wage per day if you are not giving the job. But this delay in compensation is being conducted, or it was witnessed by the standing committee itself, the standing committee of the rural development of the parliament, right? Unemployment allowances. We know that the unemployment allowances will be given by the state government. It is to be decided by the state government and to be given by the state government as well. But the parliamentary committee found that there was no unemployment allowances was given. But rather in 2019-20 and 2021-22, the ratio was merely 3,000 and 4,000. That means in the whole year, the state government has just given 3,000 annually as the unemployment allowances to the person who did not get the job, a meager amount. And that is why we may witness that the people are moving away from the 100 days, or I would say the guaranteed 100 days. Next, social audits. Monthly social audit to be conducted. But it was found that hardly 30,000 Gram Sabha conducted the social audit, that too once in an annual compared to once in a month. That means a lack of transparency is taking place. Appointment of the ombudsmen. This act itself says that in each district, there will be a ombudsman who will be a nodal person for the redrance, the grievance redressal, and taking certain decisions, etc. But this appointment of the ombudsman, if I say there are 1715 districts, hardly 204 districts were there where the ombudsman was being placed. That is when again there is a greater discrepancy. Insufficient involvement of the Panchayat Raj institutions, large number of incomplete works, fabrication of the job cards are those other reasons which are letting know that the mere corruption is taking place. Mere corruption is taking place in MGNREGA. And that is why perhaps we are witnessing the status that hardly a people are trying to get a job rather than 100, and they are come to the focus on 45 or 46 days a year. Other aspect which was of great importance, I would like to say that one needs to understand. The very important fact is, for say, take the example of Mizoram in Nagaland. The Mizoram is given the average 86 days of the work, but Nagaland is giving hardly 34 days of the waiver, right? One of the data that around average, I would say on average, only 9% of the household in India, 9% of the household in India had the job for 100 days, right? So, MGNREGA in the rural employment hardly consists for 18%, not more than that, hardly 18%. So, the data itself says that there is a discrepancies in the link that the government trying to make sure that the MGNREGA will be a tool to uplift the rural poverty or for the rural development. Merely 18%. Second, very major thing is that 67.5% of the funds was used in the wages, and that was the data of 2018-2019. 2018-2019 का data है that the 67.5% of the funds was given as the wages. Again, fabrication of job cards is there, large number of incomplete data, frozen accounts. There has been a lot of corruption issues over there. That is why we have come on the part that people are not trying to do the 100 days of the job under the MGNREGA. Now, what could be the way forward to it? Strengthen monitoring mechanism, addressing irregularity job cards using the ICT, enhancing women's participation so that the more transparency will be there, ensuring inclusion of person with disabilities so that more inclusive nature will take place. Improving fund utilization and accountability, state specific flexibility in development work. For say the state specific things are being different. The need in the northern India is not the need in the northeastern India. That is why this statement is important. Issuing dated receipt for the work demand so that there will be a proper data management, and the person can say that for say I seek the job in the month of June, but now it is the month of September and I am not being given my either the wages or not even the unemployment allowances, right? Strengthening social audits and vigilance. This is of great importance. That is why perhaps the state legislatures need to be a very vigilance regarding conducting the social audits properly on a very monthly basis. Very important thing, the Standing Committee on Rural Development 2022 suggested to the government that rather than 100 days, you should give 150 days of job guarantee. 150 days of job guarantee. So that at least the migration which is taking place from the rural to urban will stop. Once a person will be thinking that at least half of the year the government will be there for me to pay me up, right? So this migration will stop, and if we include all those way forward, there would be a scenario that MGNREGA will be a booster for the upliftment of the poor from the poverty, and a booster for the rural development, as the same scenario as we had during the Green Revolution India did for the upliftment of the people from the poverty, right? One very important factor. Well, for say Sinha committee, the Sinha committee was the Amarjit Sinha committee. That was a committee made by the government in 2022. It was been tasked to study the factors like expenditure trends, interstate variations, the composition of the works, etc. Right, for your prelims examination, this Sinha committee is of importance. This is the practice questions visible over your screen. Kindly practice it at your home. Do practice it. Now, this is the another topic, UCC, which is visible over your screen. This topic is about on living relationship in Uttarakhand. Mainly, it's talking about UCC, Uniform Civil Code. I must let you know that on 18th of January 2025, the UCC topic in a very comprehensively manner being taken by one of the person from the nextias through Daily News Decoded. So I suggest you people to kindly go to the 18th Jan Daily News Decoded and watch and understand all the other issues and the significance associated with the Uniform Civil Code. Now let's start with the 4 explained topics. The first is visible on your site is World Wetlands Day. 2nd of February is being acclaimed as World Wetland Day. So this topic is of importance with respect to your environmental understanding with the UPSC prelims and the mains associated. The first, what the wetland is. A wetland is a place in which the land is covered by water for say salt, fresh or somewhere in between, either seasonally or permanently, right? Either seasonally or permanently. Wetlands covers about 6% of the earth's surface. And the 30% of the all fresh water is stored in wetlands inward. Certain key facts which are important for your prelims examination. 3 to 4 million water birds and 1 million people are dependent upon the inter-Niger Delta. 1 billion people directly depend upon the wetlands. Total worldwide estimated value of this wetland ecosystem is 14.9 trillion. 14% of the all species lives in the wetlands. Pantanal. Now these three of a very prelims specific understanding. For say Pantanal, the Pantanal is the world's largest tropical wetland. It's covering in Brazil, Bolivia and Paraguay, and it mostly lies in Brazil. Right? But for your prelims examination, this is Brazil, Bolivia and Paraguay. Renuka wetland, which is in Himachal Pradesh in India, is the world's smallest wetland. Sundarbans is the India's largest wetland. Now, different types of the wetlands, visible over your screen for say human-made lakes, river floodplain, oxbow lakes, estuaries, swamps, marshes. These all are the parts of the wetlands. Now, wetlands in India. A very important segment with respect to is that Indian Forest Act 1927, Forest Conservation Act 1980 and Wildlife Protection Act 1972. These three acts are the one who protects the wetlands in India. The highest wetland in South Asia in India. Why? Because India is a home to 85 Ramsar sites now. Is the highest in the South Asia. This is the map which is showing the the different numbers of the wetlands. And for your prelims examination, I suggest you people to kindly go with the major of the wetlands which are there in specific states, because UPSC may ask this question based on the the pair and the mass kind of thing. Now the Ramsar Convention. Two other important prelims facts is Ramsar Convention and the Montreux Accord. So Ramsar Convention is signed in Ramsar, Iran. Ramsar is actually a town in Iran. It was signed in 1971 as an intergovernmental treaty for the wetlands conservation. It provides a framework for national action and international cooperation in wetland conservation. India became a party on 1st of February 1982. Why this statement is important? Because some of the moment UPSC may ask a statement that India is a founding member of the Ramsar Convention. This is why this is important. This is not the founding, but rather after 11 years, India signed the Ramsar Convention. Ranks first in South Asia in the number of Ramsar sites, which is 85, and ranked third in Asia in terms of the designated wetlands. Now the Montreux Record. This is a list of wetlands, the Montreux Record, which says that urgent conservation is needed for those particular wetlands, right? This is the part of the Ramsar wetlands of the international importance, established in 1990 at the Conference of Contracting Parties in Montreux, Switzerland. And in India, there are two wetlands which are the part or which are under the Montreux Records. Two are 𝐂𝐢𝐯𝐢𝐥 National Park, which is in Rajasthan, and the 𝐷𝐿oktak Lake, which is in Manipur. This is a very important prelims based facts. Another was there in the earlier, but it has its removal. For say Chilka Lake, the Chilka Lake was removed from the Montreux Record in 2002 after a successful rehabilitation program conducted by the government and the state associated. So at this moment now there are only two wetlands are Montreux Record, 𝐂𝐢𝐯𝐢𝐥 or 𝐷𝐿oktak Lake. Now certain recent developments, or I'd say the initiatives taken by the government for this wetland conservation. For the National Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Wetlands, these are aims to conserve lakes, wetlands, right? And it was established in, although is the 2015, but it was established in or came into existence in 2015. It covers two things. The first is National Lake Conservation Plan. Second, National Wetland Conservation Plan. So this act or the National Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Ecosystem came into the existence after merging these two. First is National Lake Conservation Plan. Second, National Wetland Conservation Program. This is of immense importance with respect to the prelims understanding. Second, Wetlands Rejuvenation Program 2020. It is mostly talking about restoring the health. Restoring the health of wetlands. Wetlands of India portal, where the particular data has been maintained, right? Then afterwards, Amrit Dhohar. Amrit Dhohar aims to convert the ecological fragile designated Ramsar sites into a sustainable tourist destination, right? So that more restoration will take place, rehabilitation take place, and the tourists will, this tourist development will take place as well. So this is those developments. Now this is the practice question visible over your screen. Practice it. Now the next topic is gig workers, right? Government says that gig workers half-hearted need national social security architecture from them, right? So this is an issue or important with the respect to your papers 3 part. Now gig workers are the part of gig economy. So now let's discuss what the gig economy is. The gig economy is a labor market where people work on the short-term basis. For say that the demand, I may give you 5 days of the work and you need 5 days of the work, I'll give you. This is the gig economy part. And it's mostly been through digital platforms, right? It is flexible, temporary, and for say freelance kind of jobs. Gig workers do not earn paid holiday, sick leave, or experience fluctuating, wages. For say some of the time someone may give 1,000 per day, but for say after 2 months, whenever the work is required, someone will pay them 800 per day or 500 per day. So this fluctuation will take place, right? The examples for say food delivery, constructions, domestic work, freelancing, etc. Now how it works? The digital platforms. Gig workers use digital platforms to connect with the customers and then they find their work. It is short-term context, and gig workers enter into a formal agreements with companies to provide services for a short time. Task-based workforce, say they are being paid for each task they complete rather than being paid a regular salary. So as I said, the task is being given to complete the entire task in 15 days. So you will be giving a salary of 15 days only, not for a month. Now the benefits of being the part of gig workers or the gig economy for the employers. First, there might be a wide range of the applicants I would say, due to remote working options. So for say someone sitting in Mukteshwar at this moment might get a job in nextias in via this freelancing aspect. First, second, this is very easy to hire and fire because there is no formalization. My short-term contract says that I will give you a job for 15 days. Then afterwards, there is no compulsion that I'll definitely provide you a job. So this hire and fire is quite easy. Third, no need to provide costly benefits for say like health insurance, group insurance, term plans, etc. Right? But what is the benefit for the employees? First, greater flexibility. For say I as a particular work or for a particular time may work in two companies. For say I know the particular work that has been assigned by the company A needs my 3 hours of the work. But at the same time the company B, which is paying me more, and they seek at least 4 to 5 hours of the work. So I am ultimately working for 8 hours in a week, 8 hours per day, but I am getting money from the two different companies. So there is a flexibility and I need not to go to anywhere else. Rather, I am sitting in my office having my laptop with a very good decent internet connection, and I may earn the money. I may do the work and I may earn the money. This is this greater flexibility. Second, offers various side hustles opportunities. That's the same thing I just mentioned, that I may work in not A, B, but C and D companies as well. Now there are certain challenges associated with the gig economy. For say, there are questions about how well consumers and workers are protected. For say there might be a scenario that the company A who gave me the work in month January paid me 1,000 per day. But in the month of February, the same company A will pay me 500, 600, 700 per day. This is the worker production is a greater challenge. Second, balancing innovation and fairness. It's important to balance innovation with a fair deal for the workers. For at least they are paying, they are working. So the payment has to be, acclimatized with the nature of their innovation. Now again, this is the PYQ that UPSC has asked based on the gig economy in its previous year's question papers. Practice it. Now let's move to the another topic which is linked with the sugar production. Now you people must be thinking that if sugar production expected to decline, why this topic is important? Go back to UPSC prelims examination 2024. There was a question based on a statement given that India does not import apples from USA. Why this statement was being framed by India? Because in January 2024, there was a data came that the import from the side of USA to India with respect to the apples has gone 40% rise. That is why if the sugar production expected to decline, this is a very great important significant with your UPSC prelims examination. Now sugar production, certain prelims based factor data. The estimated from 34 million metric tons for 2023-2024 marketing year. Major producing state is Uttar Pradesh is the first, Maharashtra is the second, Karnataka is the third. Export forecast estimated that 3.7 million tons due to government export restrictions. This is a very important point. For say, India emerges as the world's largest producer and consumer of the sugar, and India is the second largest exporter of sugar after the Brazil, right? After the Brazil. Now look at the trend. This graph foretells a lot about the idea of the sugar production and the export. This pink, or I would say this orange line is the export part, and this green graphs is the production part. So if for say UPSC in its question gave a statement 1 that in India over the past decade, or right from 2017 to 2021, for say in the past decade, the sugar production in India has been continuously enhancing. But we know that in 2019-20 it was a bit reduced, so a statement will be wrong. And this is how UPSC makes question in its prelims examination. So with the help of these data, or I would say with graphs, you may have this particular understanding. Now the area under sugarcane in major states of India, for say this is UP the highest, then afterwards Maharashtra, then afterwards Karnataka, right? And then afterwards, if I quote about the thing, this is Bihar at the 4th number, right? So again, this is of with respect to your prelims. Yes, now this data or this graph talks about the trends in export and import of sugar from the India, right? Now, see, this is the export. The export has been consistently increasing, but the import has been declining, again enhanced and then declined. So again, if I say that the import has been consistently declining, wrong fact. But if I say that the export has been consistently improving, right fact, right? So this is of again important with respect to your prelims examination. A practice question to follow. Do practices, and I hope with the help of the graphs, you people will be able to handle this question effectively. Now the next topic, the crisis in the Congo. You must have heard that the Democratic Republic of Congo is going on with the crisis, and the Ministry of External Affairs has asked the people to to move the place as soon as possible. So this question with respect to the places in news topic has immense potential with respect to the prelims examination. Going with this draft for say, see, this is Democratic Republic of Congo, the Zaire. The first thing that you need to understand is that Congo is there, Republic Africa is there, Uganda is there, Tanzania is there, Rwanda is there, Burundi is there. So those are those adjoining countries. This is of great importance thing, right? Second important thing, this Angola is there as well. This is of great importance thing. The capital is Kinshasa. Sometimes UPSC had been asking places in news topics, interlinking 3 and 4 topics in a one single question, making in the pairing aspect and then asking the question. So this location, this Kinshasa, these are a very important thing. Second is important thing is that the country has 25-mile coastline on the Atlantic Ocean. So it does have a coastline with the Atlantic Ocean. A little bit of political history. For say, British, Dutch, Portuguese first merchants engaged in the slave trade through Congo intermediaries. The first Congo War erupted in 1996-1997 has led to the replacing President Mobutu with the rebel leader Laurent Kabila, and the country is renamed at the moment Democratic Republic of Congo. In 2006, the first free elections was taken place. Now, certain very important geographical facts associated. For say this Katanga Plateau, it contains more than 10th of world's copper deposit. So this Katanga Plateau is associated with the copper deposit in the world. Other minerals like cobalt, uranium, zinc, silver, gold, tin are also mined here, but this copper is of great importance. Second, the river. This is again very important prelims facts. The Congo River is the second largest or the second longest rivers in the entire continent, the African continent. Third, this is the river which crosses the equator twice. Very important, very important. Third, world's second largest river by discharge volume after the Amazon. Right? This is of a very particular geographic understanding with respect to the rivers within the Democratic Republic of Congo. Very important thing, wetland. The Nigiri Mumba Main Dombe is the world's largest Ramsar site. World's largest Ramsar site. Yeah, remember, Pantalal was a tropical one, but the world's largest Ramsar site is Giri Tumba Main Dombe. Very important thing, and it is in Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Now, a practice question. It has been asked by UPSC earlier. I hope that you people can practice it with the help of the videos thoroughly, right? And I hope that the topics we covered with the help of this video, you people got yourself to access and understand the points, the content that we are trying to deliver. Keep studying, keep watching Daily News Decoded videos for your own betterment and for the proper understanding of the topics to what extent you need to follow. Thank you very much. All the best.